Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Open Book. I am Billy Price, co-founder of BILLY Footwear, and today we have another awesome guest working with another awesome nonprofit. So on screen with me, we have Kaiti. Kaiti is, let me look at her bio really quick right here. She takes on the role of family support chair for the nonprofit Project 8P Foundation. Now, it has to do with chromosomes. And well, first off, Kaiti, welcome. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me, Billy. I'm excited.
So as I was about to say, I don't really know chromosomes very well in terms of like the science behind it. So I think a great place to start would be what is 8P, and then how does it branch into this organization, and how did you get involved?
Yeah, so chromosome 8P is kind of an umbrella diagnosis, and under it, there are several different subdiagnoses, and it's the P arm of the 8th chromosome is affected. So some of our patients have duplications, some have deletions. My daughter has an inversion, a duplication, and a deletion. There's triplications. There's a lot of variety in our patients, but it's very rare. It affects about 350 patients worldwide. And Project 8P was started by a family, by an 8P mother who wanted to make a difference. And so she started this all on their own. They self-funded it, and it's grown into this giant research project and also family support group.
That is so incredible. I know there's so many. I mean, you touched on the numbers. I mean, so that definitely qualifies as, I guess, categorized as a rare disease. Yes. And I find it in doing more of these presentations and meeting so many amazing people, I find it so inspiring how, for being these rare diseases, how everyone is able to find each other, how people take initiative to be able to start some sort of platform, and then to be able to reach out, and then others are, be able to join the community to be able to share these stories.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. When we got my daughter's diagnosis, we were given this pamphlet that was 20-something years old, and it basically said, she may do this, she may do that, she may not. There was no answer. And so immediately you go to Google, right? You start Googling inversion, duplication, deletion, 8P, and nothing really comes up. And ironically, I got on Facebook and searched it on Facebook because everything's on Facebook. And I found a parent group. So we joined that, and we started meeting some families, and this is all through a private Facebook group. And all of a sudden there's talk about this Project 8P, and everyone's going to meet in New York. And there's this research study that's starting. And so, we had our doctor look into it and decided, yep, we're going to go. We're going to see what this is. And we went to New York, and we just were so inspired. We met so many families, the Shaw family, Lena Shaw, our founder and president, who put this together. She brought in families from around the world. I mean, London, Germany, you name it. People were traveling in, and it was one of the most empowering moments of my life.
That is so awesome. Because you're in Alaska, and there's all these other folks like all around the United States, and as you point out, international. And now with technology the way it is, being able to reach out through video conferencing and whatnot, you really have a growing voice, which is just really incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. 2 years ago where we were to where we are now, it's pretty powerful. And just as a community, we met all these families in person, and now they're family that we didn't even know we had. And so we connect virtually, which is wonderful. Technology is amazing. I serve on the patient leadership board, which is a group of parents that are some of the most amazing people I've ever met. Busy people, full lives on top of raising a rare child, and they all come together and we work together to provide family support.
Yeah. And I know you have an upcoming conference too, correct?
We do. This July 7th, we are hosting our second in-person family conference in Denver, Colorado. And along with that, there is a science conference where we are partnered with Duke 15Q and Ring 14 USA. And together we formed a commission collaborating and aiming to treat genetic conditions.
Wow. Wow. Well, I think this is a good time for people to be able to find you. Can you talk about your website? How do we find you on your website?
You go to project8p.org. That is our website where you can learn all about the ongoing research study. We just launched a brand new patient registry, which is where we're collecting all the data on our patients. It's all online, which is pretty amazing. We get to go in and put in our own data, and it gets shared, and then it's nice too because it's a tool. So our data is now stored and shared that we can pull it up at any doctor's appointment and say, hey, look. There's also a comparison tool on there, so we can compare our children to their peers, which is another amazing feature. And then all of this information also gets thrown into the ongoing research study to help provide treatments, hopefully in the future, for our kiddos.
Wow, awesome. So did we show your website as well? That was the website, and also on social?
Yes, we are. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Chromosome 8P.
Oh man, awesome. Awesome. So there's so many things about your story and what you're doing that I find inspiring, but also it really touches a special part in my heart as well, because I can think about, and I'm hoping you can touch on a little bit of this, but when you first received the news that, what was going on with your daughter, and it wasn't really part of the master plan, and you get that kind of information, and I can imagine, because I'm vicariously thinking about this through my own story. Like when I was given the information that all of a sudden I broke my neck and I'd never be able to walk again.
Right.
That type of information was more than I could deal with.
Yeah.
And it was one of these just overwhelming senses of emotion, of confusion, of fear, not knowing what was happening in the now, and certainly not knowing what was to happen in the future. And from what you were talking about earlier, you received a small little archaic pamphlet, but then were able to reach out to find a community, which I think is absolutely amazing. And the community is getting better and better and better. But if you wouldn't mind, could you take us to that moment when you first heard the news? Because I'm sure there's lots of other families out there that could be in the same boat right now.
Yeah, that is, I think that's the moment that changed everything, right? Yeah. You get this diagnosis, and all the things that you thought were going to happen are no longer going to happen. And she was young, so she wasn't necessarily, we weren't seeing the developmental effects yet. She was 3 months old when we got her diagnosis. But that was almost worse sometimes, I think, because it was, I didn't know, what should I be doing for her, do I put her in therapy? Do we just kind of see where this goes? She ended up getting a full from head to toe body workup of what's functioning correctly and what's not. And so that was, definitely a difficult time while we were trying to, explore what our options were and what's out there. And then, but I think it also drove me a little bit. It made me start looking and finding and researching and discovering. And that's where I ultimately ended up here with Project 8P, because I don't want any family to have to feel that way again. I want them to be able to come and find Project 8P and know that they're not alone. They're going to reach out, and one of us is going to tell them, hey, we've been there. What do you want to know? What can we do to help you? These are things you need to look out for. These are things that help. And then the emotional side of it too, to really know that you're not alone, because it is hard, and it is honestly a pretty scary diagnosis because we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the sharing of all those stories and having those shoulders to cry on, and just the sense of camaraderie, but also looking at it from like the science side, being able to describe like the symptoms and share those symptoms with others through a registry, and then to be able to look at it more from like the science side on the chromosome, to be able to, and I don't even know what that looks like, but the two I would think really have to work in concert to be able to help other like new families, but also to be able to really try to put a stop to this thing.
Yeah. What can we do? There's kind of two sides of Project 8P. There is the science side that we're driving research and looking for treatments and really trying to bring this together. And our founder, Bina, she's a go-getter. If you want someone on your side, it's her, because she is really pushing for it. And then there's the, empowering family support side that I get to be involved with, where we're bringing these families in and you're not alone. And what can we do to help you now? I get to work with some of the most amazing parents who are helping us put on virtual events that offer just emotional support. We're bringing in nutritionists to help with ideas on nutrition for our kiddos, because some of them are affected that way. And it's really empowering. I joined Project AP 2 years ago. Never imagined I'd be here talking with you. So I'm so excited to see what the future holds with them.
Well, I'd imagine when it comes to when you're sharing all that information, we're talking about a lot of, talking about big things there, but also I would imagine there's some more like lighthearted sharing. And I'm guessing, is that how our shoes got introduced to your world?
Yeah. So your shoes, first of all, I've been using them with my daughter. We love them. They're wonderful. And several members of our community actually use them too. So when we found out that you do these affiliate partnerships, we were so excited because our community loves them. Everyone uses them. A couple of parents the other day just commented how their kids are rocking different pairs every day. So we're so thankful for you for first coming up with such an amazing product that helps so many of our kids, whether they have orthotics or just, can't manage to tie their shoes. And then for also giving back to us. You're just doing wonderful things there.
Yeah, well, it's been such an honor for us to be able to collaborate with these just amazing nonprofits, and being able to offer your members the shoes at a discount, and then also having that give back. Because with any nonprofit, the lifeblood is a source of revenue. And for us to be able to contribute in that way, it really is an honor for us, for sure.
No, it's wonderful. Like I said, we so appreciate you. And even the show, it's wonderful. I went back and was watching your old episodes and learning about other nonprofits that are out there. So it is really a powerful tool.
Well, that's been really exciting too, because we hear these stories about like other rare disease. Nonprofits are now reaching out to each other and learning about them through this open book conversation. It's like I never would have thought it would have morphed into that kind of thing, but it's been fun to be, kind of a connector in that regard.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You're learning and doing, and we're all a community, right? We're part of this rare community that is working together to find treatments to support each other. And it doesn't matter what your diagnosis is. We're all doing the best we can.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, we're in together. So, working together, we can do a lot more.
Yes, it's a very powerful thing.
Well, Kaiti, I just really appreciate your time here. This is just amazing. But before we sign off, I wanted to make sure to give you the mic one more time to just share whatever. It could be something we've already talked about, or something new, or just something that's on your heart. But I want to give you the mic one more time.
Yeah, with our upcoming conference, I've been really thinking about the defining moment for me. And going to the 2019 conference, being inspired by all these families who traveled around the world, came together, the Shaw family, Bina for putting it on. I think that one of the most important things I could say for other families is to find your community, because you will leave so inspired. Like I said, I'm just a small town girl from Alaska, and here I am talking with you. So it's really powerful to connect, to share, to grow, to really contribute to this community, not only your specific diagnosis, but just the rare community in general.
I love that. Every single person on this planet has a story.
Exactly.
And the story has worth. And when we share those stories and we're open, have the courage to be open, or the courage to kind of step out boldly and try to overcome. And we may fail, but hopefully we fail forward, right?
Right, but look at everything that you did. You took an accident and turned it into something powerful that's connecting not just your community, but a wide range of communities. So I'm very lucky and very fortunate to be a part of this rare community.
Oh. Well, thank you, Kaiti. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm sure you can relate. You start down this path and you don't really know what the end of the destination is going to look like, but it's it's the journey. The journey is what's adding the value, and you just got to just keep moving forward.
Yes, that was what, one step at a time, right?
Exactly. Well, Kaiti, thank you again for your time today. This was absolutely, absolutely spectacular.
Thank you so much for having me.
Everyone else out there, this was another episode of Open Book. We will have another episode next week. So until